Well, hello, friends and neighbors. John, your whiskey neighbor here. Welcome down to the Nook. I know the video looks a little different. I'll tell you about that later. But our journey should be pretty similar. We're going to keep going into bourbon. Today we're going to look at a single barrel. Now, this single barrel is from Evan Williams. In my area, one of the most available single barrel bourbons around. Now, is it worth our time? Is it worth the money? Those are the kinds of things we're going to talk about together. I hope you have some Evan Williams, the Bottle and Bond, or any of their products. Pour a little, sip along, see if some of these notes come across. So when we come back, we'll take a look at this single barrel. This one put into oak in 2012.
3, 4.
Well, thanks for staying with me through the opener there. As I was trying to say, we're going to take a look at a pretty available single barrel from Evan Williams. In my area, it is affordable, very affordable, and available, which makes it always like, this is interesting. Is this going to be different than the last year or the year before? And in my experience, they are all a little bit different. There's some great things about the presentation here, right? It's not just putting, it says 2012, put in oak, but I don't know if the camera will pick it up. But if you look, there is some pretty cool details. It tells you on here that, it went into oak in January 24th, 2012, and it was bottled in July 10th, 2020. So almost 8.5 years, certainly over 8 years old in oak. It tells you the barrel. This barrel was 1,201, 1201. And I love that, right? As anybody who is in this journey trying to get more details about the whiskey we enjoy, certainly details like that is cool. Now, they released it at 43.3%, which I think is a little bit odd. Such a great, classic, nice wax and all that information, and just that they would release it kind of lower than what is a typical bourbon percent up here. Bourbon for me comes out, not for me, in my area, like almost always around 45, so this is less. Which is the only thing that stands out as a bit interesting. All right, let's get back. When I say interesting, I'm puzzled because I really think they should go a little stronger. Let's talk the whiskey itself, and then I'll compare it against Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, also very affordable and readily available. And we'll see, is there a difference between an 8.5-year-old bourbon versus probably a 4-year-old bourbon. Of course, it's stronger proof. Let's see what we get. But let's talk whiskey. So, on the nose. This bourbon for me is always, lightly spicy and slightly sour on the nose. Not an off-putting way, really, but just like it's almost on that fermented sour edge. If there's fruit, it's maybe like a light cherry, but it's not deep and rich. Just a little bit of fruit. But mostly, cinnamon, fairly fresh oak. Not too strong on the nose, and not a lot of alcohol. It's pleasant. It's easy to kind of, that's nice. It doesn't draw me one way or another. Let's try it on the palate. Cheers. It's a good bourbon. It is, a little bit of corn sweetness, but oak forward, I would suggest. Not over oaked for me, but I'm right away playing in some oak tannins, some fresh sawdusty type oak, and then the spicing is not light bright cinnamon, but a darker cooked brown sugar, little more burnt. Yeah, maybe that's char, burnt sugars, that kind of thing. So the whole palate experience for me plays a little bit on the darker side and oakier side, and not on the very bright and fresh. But it's very drinkable. Like it's really enjoyable, easy to pour, sips really nice, neat. Try it again. second sip's even better. Of course, that's almost always the case. You know, it's a Saturday and it's certainly the first bourbon of the day, and the more you sip a whiskey in general, the more the secondary flavors and the layers come out. And there are some layers in here. It's not terribly complex. It's missing certain, like, what is the mash bill for Evan Williams? I don't think they disclose it, but most sites put it at like 78 corn, 12 barley, and 10% rye. So there's rye, but a little less rye. You know, the more I talk, there's a bit of a finish. Of course there's a finish, but it came back with a little bit more depth to it, a little bit more cinnamon bun, which I like in bourbon. Now, it's not screaming that, but it's got a little more character. I like this bourbon, and I think I like it more than many reviewers online. I have a bit of a history with an older 2009 release. I liked a little bit better, but I also, have shared that back way before COVID here, with people, and it seems to be an approachable bourbon. It could be that it's less percent, so it's less aggressive, and allows, palates that maybe don't play in some of the big, bold, brash alcohols that maybe some of our palates play in, a chance to get at the flavors, and there's good flavor here. Let's take a look at how it compares to Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. Now, Bottle and Bond is great. It's bottled on a single season under a single master distiller. It's, unless it says on it anywhere else, and it doesn't, it's a minimum of 4 years old, and it comes out at 100 proof or 50%. In my area, these two bottles are exactly the same price. They go on sale. I've been able to buy them for crazy prices, like $29, but they sit on the shelf more around that $39, both at exactly the same price, which is very interesting. Both Evan Williams, a lot more age on this, but lower ABV. Let's see what we get. So the Bottle and Bond is brighter and has a little more fruit. There are more vanillas and caramels in the more relaxed single barrel. We'll try the Bottle and Bond. Hard to argue that it's not punchier. The spices are delivered to the palate. They're on my tongue. A little cracked pepper. The cinnamon is definitely brighter. Comparing back with the single barrel. But there is certainly more oak for my palate. And a little more brown sugar. So, I think contrary to, and I just watched Eric Malt Muser online, and he did this as well, and it was also a 2012. Zero chance it's the same barrel, but he was recommending, I think, if I misquoted you, sir, let me know, but I think Eric was saying, you know what, go for the Evan Williams Bottle and Bond. And I'm going in the other direction. The Bottle and Bond is a great product and would really be great in old fashions where you got a bit of ice and some flavor. Like, it's going to hold up well and it's going to just deliver. But I think if you're sipping and relaxing, I actually do get more layers and more interesting things to kind of think about in this single barrel. And for, like I said, I got it for 29 bucks Canadian. It's usually about $40 Canadian. But, at almost 8.5-year-old bourbon, it's so hard not to like this. If I'm giving this a star value, it obviously changes with your specific barrel that you're able to get. But this is 3 3/4 for me. It's almost a 4 stars. You know what? I'm going to say for me, this is a 4-star bourbon. All things considered. Value, age, and I enjoy it. So I hope you enjoy it too, and if not, either way, why don't you throw down a comment and talk to me a bit about your experience with Evan Williams, either the Bottle and Bond or the single barrel. Have you liked them? Have you not liked them? What do you think? Thanks for joining me here. Oh, I was going to tell you why the video is different. It's not a big story. My phone just stopped working. And I always record on my phone. So here, I'm sitting on a webcam. I feel like maybe I should be doing a Zoom meet and getting back to work. You guys, I hope you're having a great weekend. In Canada, it's the long weekend. And I hope you have something nice in your glass and maybe some good plans, or the weather turns nice and you're able to at least sit on a deck and just unwind. You guys take care.